Now I realise I'm a little bit late to the party with this one, but I only recently unlocked the SG553R, mainly because the other carbines felt terrible to me after using the M4A1 for so long. However, I can now safely say the SG553R is one of, if not the best weapon that I've used in Battlefield 6 so far. I didn't really believe the hype around it and I thought it was being overrated by a lot of people online until I had a look at the stats for myself and actually tried it out. And as you can see from the clips in the background, it absolutely shreds at close to medium range. Based on some feedback that I've had in the comments on my last few videos, I'm going to give one low level build as a recommendation where the max requirement's only around level 15, followed by my preferred setup for the SG553R regardless of weapon rank. So before we get into it, consider dropping a like for the YouTube algorithm and hit the sub button while you're at it. We're just over 3/4 of the way towards 1,000 subs. Before I give you the recommended builds, I'm just going to quickly explain exactly why the SG553 is so good at close to medium range. We're over here on battlefinity.gg, which is a really good website if you're interested in weapon stats, damage profiles, time to kill, all that good stuff. They've got their own stats comparison tool where you can generate these time to kill charts and compare different weapons. So here I've got a comparison of the M4A1 against the SG. You can see that the damage drop-offs are at the same point for the M4 and the SG, and within that first damage range, which extends from 0 to 10 meters, the SG has a time to kill of 167 milliseconds versus 200 for the M4. Now 167 milliseconds is like SMG levels of TTK. You're going to feel like you're absolutely melting people within that first damage range. The gap between the M4 and the SG does close in the second and third damage ranges, but the SG does still slightly beat out the M4 in both. Essentially from 0 up to 35 meters, you're going to be better off using the SG over the M4 in terms of pure time to kill. And another thing to note is that the majority of your engagements are going to take place in this 0 to 35 meter range. If you're trying to challenge people beyond 35 meters with a carbine, you're going to have a very recoil heavy build, and the trade-off for that is going to be giving up on your suppressor, so you're always going to be visible whenever you fire on the minimap and in game. Just to illustrate even further how broken this gun is at close to medium range, I've compared it against 4 of the best SMGs in the game. So we've got the SCW-10 and the KV-9, the 2 fastest killing SMGs in the game, and you can see that the SG and the gold line is right there with the 2 of them. In fact, it actually has the same TTK as the KV-9 in that first damage range. It almost makes it hard to justify using an SMG at all when you've got a gun that can kill this fast whilst feeling just as accurate at range with even better bullet velocity. So here we've got the low level build, which requires a maximum weapon rank of level 50. For the muzzle, it makes sense to use the flash hider. It only costs 10 points. It's got no recoil downsides, and it will stop you from getting spotted in world with a big red diamond above your head. However, you will still be visible on the minimap every time you fire. Given how many points you're going to have at your disposal, you might as well run the extended barrel for the extra bullet velocity. If you've watched any of my other setup videos, you'll know I always go with the red laser so that it's not visible. On this one, we're going to use the alloy vertical, which is unlocked at level 7. This one doesn't have any downsides, unlike the other vertical foregrips, which impact your accuracy while moving. Standard 30 round magazine, and you're going to want to run the lightweight ammo, which you unlock at rank 13. This will improve your ADS movement speed. For the optic, I always go with a 1x optic for the reduced visual recoil, and it's got a really good sight picture on this Miniflex 1.0. Next up, we've got my preferred build for the SG553R, and this is just the one that I find myself coming back to time and time again after having tried multiple different builds for it. As with most of my builds, I like to be suppressed, so we're going to go with a standard suppressor on this one. This will keep us off the minimap and it will stop us from being spotted in game. I've decided to try and save some points by going for the standard over the long or CQB or the lightened, which I know a lot of people like. Since the gun's already got pretty good bullet velocity, I've decided to use the basic barrel and save some extra points for elsewhere. This is one of my favourite underbarrels to run, the slim angled. It improves your sprint to fire and aim down sight, whilst also giving you slightly reduced recoil, basically giving you all benefits without any downsides. The next three attachments are the same as the low level build, so you've got the standard 30 round magazine, the red laser, and the Miniflex 1.0. And finally we're on to the ammo type, which is where all the save points from other attachment slots are going to go. The SG is one of only a few guns in the game where hollow point ammo is going to actually have an impact. So if we go back and take a look at the damage profiles from battlefinity.gg, the base headshot damage for the SG within that 0 to 10 meter damage range is 44.8, which gives you a 3 shot to kill. This means that with the 1.5 multiplier from the hollow point ammo, the headshot damage jumps up to 50.1, which means that you can get a 2-shot kill in that first damage range. Getting those 2 headshots actually happens more often than you would think, and when it does happen, it feels like you've just deleted the person. So that's the end of the video. Give the build a try, let me know what you think in the comments and whether you would change anything with it. Hopefully you'll consider dropping a like on the video, it will help the channel out massively. And if you do, make sure you hit that sub button as well.